My name is Lafayette Barnes, publisher of the Washington Informer Bridge, and you're watching What's the Motivation? So U Street Main Street is an association that's in the middle between like the city council and a small business on U Street. So if a business on U Street says, hey, like, you know, we're having some issues with our signage is not up to par, you know, the lights aren't working, we don't have the money to pay for that because we only can afford our operating budget, they can come to the U Street Main Street and we can work with them to find grants or find funding for small projects to help their business, you know, improve or succeed. So the DMV scene is complicated. I mean, as I get older, I start to sound older. It's like I lose understanding for a lot of things that happen here. But, you know, working with the bridge, you know, working with our writers, I get another insight than I might personally have. But I would say the DC scene it's fragmented. You know, I don't know if I can think of a better word than that. It's fragmented. It's full of talent, but it's very fragmented. So, you know, DC is one of the highest gentrification affected cities in the United States. So you have, you know, your new folks coming in that are, you know, creating a scene, and then you have your old folks here that have been in a scene that are trying to like latch on, you know, stay alive and, you know, stay energized. You have your street scene, you know, the folks who are, you know, into the trap music and, you know, sort of still like in the old school DC ways of like Rayful Edmonds and all, you know, still talking about, you know, the streets. And then you have, you know, a new scene with like people like, you got Rico Nasty, you got Gold Link, you got, you know, Wale still out there, but, you know, you got a lot of new folks that are sort of changing the view of DC and from a national perspective, which I'm excited about. You know, the folks that are still in the streets, you know, I respect that. I'm from the streets, so I get it, you know, but I would say that we all need to evolve. Like, there's no reason that, you know, we're still perpetuating this identity when we don't have to. Like, we know DC, the median income here is almost 80 to 90,000. You know what I'm saying? We know that if you move from DC to North Carolina, like, you'll be rich in North Carolina. So, you know, let's start acting like, you know, let's start claiming the value that we have and expressing that through our scene. I think, yeah, you got some people who just don't have, they act like they don't have access to information to improve, you know, their outlook. And that's sort of like, that's why I'm conflicted on the DC scene, because there's one side that I don't associate with, I don't represent, and there's another side that I'm super excited about. But I think DC's always been like that. I mean, we've been like a government-based city, and then we have the streets. You know, we was the murder capital when I was growing up, but at the same time, you know, I think it was like Clinton, or I'm not sure who was the president at that time, but, you know, it was a lot of, it's like you always had the grandeur side, and then you had the street side. So it continues to work in that way. But I think that with gentrification, we definitely just need to just lock in and like start owning this city. We see the city going away, you know, slipping away from us, and people are upset about it. You can hear that through music. You know, people, you know, street artists are discussing that in their music, but it's time to take those profits from our industries and really just start creating industry here so that, you know, we can't be sort of pushed out. I don't know if that's too much or that's enough. Yeah. So I'm working on, my life is dedicated to the Washington Informer right now. The Washington Informer Bridge is where I'm at all day, every day. So I'm excited to say that we are launching a new website. We're updating our website, wibridgedc.com. So you'll see 2.0 launching about mid-January. With that, we're bringing on a network of podcasts. So we'll have 4 to 5 podcasts that'll be coming out on a weekly basis. We'll have 2 YouTube shows. One is you know, titled Sounds of the DMV. That title may change, but we're featuring local artists in a, you know, tiny desk scenario, in a high quality scenario. And then we're also going to be doing our, you know, bringing back our Bridge TV weekly talk show variety show where we interview, influencers and entrepreneurs and, movers and shakers about, current events and, what they have going on. So we're definitely, I'm excited to be bringing this new offering of content to the DC scene.